to the space, I would like to welcome our very own John Pisano. John is currently studying for a Master's of Divinity and Certificate of Chaplaincy at Star King School for the Ministry. And like last time, I'm not going to tell you anything else about what he's going to say. So please welcome our own community member, John Pisano.
Need one of those platforms. No, I'm good. I think this is good. Hello, friends. Hi. Okay. Welcome. I'm just going to get right into it. I titled my talk, Why Religion? Which may seem like an odd question to pose in a church, and may seem even stranger coming from a non-theist like myself, but I doubt it's an unfamiliar question to many UUs. I know that some of us joined the UU community because we were disillusioned or even traumatized by organized religion. When I try to describe what UU is to those who don't know, I find myself saying, it's a religion for sure, but it's only somewhat organized. It might be helpful to break down what I think religion is. At root, I think religion is a group of methods that humans have created to help us manage the anxiety caused when we face the unfamiliar. It is a set of practices that help people in the search for value and meaning in their lives. Those practices can be used to activate uncommon ways of thinking, altered states of consciousness that can propel us to deep insights. But that's not all. Religion can provide a framework of ethics, helping us determine what is good and what is bad. It's a way to organize, to gather in community and share a common experience. Religion gives people ways to express grief, to experience awe, and to find solace. Religion is also a way that we can make promises to one another. In UU, we create covenants, pledging a way to live in right relationship, while knowing that people are imperfect and promises can be broken. Religion gives us a way for how to repair things when a covenant has been violated. So given all that religion can do, it's no wonder why it's so dangerous in the wrong hands. Altered states of consciousness can leave people open to manipulation and exploitation. What is good and what is bad can be easily weaponized to otherize and dehumanize. Grief, awe, and solace can leave us vulnerable. You might notice that I haven't mentioned a thing about the supernatural or metaphysical or divine. Those can certainly be facets of a religion, but I don't think they're necessary to the practice of religion. As a teenaged atheist, I was probably insufferable. I wanted to refute everything, to show the world its errors. I would defeat all talk of the supernatural and metaphysical and divine. I thought it would be enough to approach the subject logically, and that people would be grateful for someone to try to talk them out of their most deeply held beliefs. They're not. But as I've grown older, that fire has died down. I can't argue against an invisible world, and I have no desire to. I'm no longer interested in refuting such things. One God or 1,000 gods, or all is God, or no gods at all. There are no tests, no experiments that will give a satisfactory answer for everyone on this planet. And I find I am no longer invested in people believing exactly what I believe. What I am interested in now are two things. Why does a person believe what they believe? And how do those beliefs cause them to act in this world? Now, I'm not trying to say that the details of what people believe are inconsequential, only that they are a mask hiding a world of thought, emotion, and associations that can provide insight into how to really communicate with one another. When someone tells me that they believe in something divine or spiritual, I still have my skepticism. But I try to set it aside so that I can listen for the motivations behind that belief. What purpose is it fulfilling for that person? It's very easy to label an unfamiliar belief crazy, as if it were made up only to confound. But there are reasons behind every belief that help to satisfy our encounters with the mysteries of the universe. Knowing the reason someone believes is more important than what they believe. When we know the why, we can fully listen to someone, we can understand them, we can empathize. If we only focus on the content of their belief, it is easy to dismiss. So if someone tells me that God exists, I'm never sure where to go from there. But if they phrase it as, I believe that God exists, that opens up a whole realm of conversation. It centers the experience on the person. Why? When did you first believe? What does this belief do for you? How does it cause you to act? Hand in hand with why someone believes something is how that belief shows up in their actions. Is their belief an avenue for growth, support, and nurturing? Or is it an avenue for control, exploitation, and harm? The same belief can be a call for unconditional love in one person and a font of hatred in another. Why we believe what we believe matters because it informs what we will do with that belief. And what we do matters because it informs what we will come to believe. We are the shapers of our universe. We are the builders of a shared reality. One possible source for the word religion comes from the Latin word religare, made up of the prefix re, meaning again, and the word ligare, which means to bind. Religare, to bind again. Ligare is where we get the English word ligament. A ligament is fibrous connective tissue that binds bone to bone, keeping them together and stable. Religion then is a process of coming together again, of binding ourselves to one another over and over. It is a recognition of our connection of ourselves to others, or even back to ourselves, bone to bone. So, in the beginning, there was no beginning. Because the beginning assumes that nothing came before that point in time, and we don't have enough information to make that call. But as far back as we can determine with our limited instruments, we're pretty sure that something infinitely dense and small exploded because it was so small and dense that it had no choice but to explode and create the universe. The explosion grew and continued to grow so much that the universe is still exploding today. We are all part of that explosion. Our bodies contain atoms of carbon that are billions of years old, forged in supernovas, carbon that is critical in turning inert matter into living beings by a process we have yet to comprehend. We live in a universe full of mystery, full of places where we lack understanding. We experience tension from not knowing. Religion is one way we can engage with mystery and explore its features. It can be a way to bring all beings on this planet together in mutual respect. But there is work to do. The shadow side of religion takes religion's strengths and employs them to destructive ends. Dogma and authoritarianism in religion threatens our freedom and our very lives. The same ability to connect people together can also be used to keep us separate, to foster identities that claim superiority and offer people an excuse to stay mired in us versus them thinking. Racism, sexism, and bigotry often come wrapped in religious garments, claiming divine sanction of their ignorance. We cannot allow them to go unchallenged. I believe in a future religion that works to break down in-group thinking, that tries to foster a love of all humanity, of all beings, of Earth itself. A religion that teaches us that cooperation is more effective than selfishness, that we are all part of one interconnected community. A religion that urges us to take care of our environment, that teaches us a mutual respect for the complex processes that keep us alive on this planet. A religion that encourages us to support, nurture, and uplift one another. A religion that is ours to shape, that rejects the forces of domination, exploitation, and oppression. A religion that guides without being overbearing and connects us together without setting us apart. I think that this future religion can draw from the religious experiences and expressions already present on Earth. There is much wisdom in what has come before, but we have to disentangle that wisdom from the troubled and complicated past. We have to appraise what is being taught and recontextualize the lessons imparted to serve all humanity. To paraphrase John F. Kennedy, ask not what you can do for religion, but what can religion do for all of us? At the same time, we have the opportunity to create new religious experiences and expressions, ones informed by our current world and the ever-evolving questions it asks of us. We are not beholden to the past, but I believe we have an obligation to the future. That obligation is to work to create a world that all can enjoy living in, a thriving, interconnected world that does not hate or otherize or attack. It won't be perfect. It will be messy. Life is imperfect and messy. I think we can have a religion that recognizes the messiness of life, that doesn't denounce people and cast them out, where the mess is a recognized part of the process, and where perfection, whatever that may be, is absent. We can all have a part in co-creating this future religion. I believe that all of us, all of humanity, must have a part in creating it, if it's to be what I believe it can be. I urge you to think about your own beliefs and try to answer the questions: why do I believe this, and how does this belief cause me to act? Is it a belief born of love or compassion or kindness? Or is it born of hatred or indifference or cruelty? Do I act with love or compassion or kindness, or with hatred or indifference or cruelty? Is it a belief born of insecurity that causes you to lash out against others? Or is it born of a respect that urges you to gather others together? Jesus, when warning against false prophets, said, "You shall know them by their fruits," that is, by how they behave and what they produce. He may as well have been talking about all people. We are known less for the shape of our beliefs than by our fruits. Those fruits can be sweet or bitter, ripe or rotten. They can bring health or illness. They can spread love or hatred. What kind of fruit will you cultivate? Religion is neither inherently good nor bad. It is a set of tools we can use to establish meaning. It can be a way to gather in community and organize around shared values. It can give us rituals to mark our history, which in turn shapes our future. It can help us to express deep pain or deep love. It can help us to give words to those transcendental experiences that seem to defy our expectations. And it can provide solace when faced with the uncertainty that is all around us. But one thing religion does not do is create connections between people. It only reaffirms the connections that already exist. We are already joined together, bone to bone. I ended my last talk with a quote from Helen Keller, so I thought it fitting to continue that theme. She said, "It is wonderful how much time good people spend fighting the devil. If they would only expend the same amount of energy loving their fellow men, the devil would die in his own tracks of ennui." Thank you.